Hey everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ethan. For those of you who do know me, I apologize. I don't know what to tell you. What you see is what you get. Oh man, I just remembered that episode of Family Guy. Anyways, today I wanted to talk about remaining true to your convictions. Sticking to your convictions. Sticking to your guns, if you will. But I digress. You probably could have gathered that from the title of the video, presumably. If you can read. If you cannot, I would highly suggest learning. It's just a recommendation though. You don't have to. But I would recommend it. Reading is pretty fun sometimes. For some people, I don't know. I can't presume to know you or your interests. Anyways, I digress once again. Sticking to your convictions. Because you know how the old saying goes, you stand for something or you fall for anything, right? And I believe the saying does hold a bit of merit. It does hold a bit of truth. It does hold a bit of weight. Because if you don't stand for what you believe in, if you're always allowing your convictions to be meddled with, then what do you really stand for at all at the end of the day? It's very difficult to seem someone worthy of relying upon or trusting or believing in if your word and your conviction is always finicky, if it's always just changing. And that's not to say that your mind can't be swayed. It's, in my belief, a sign of a particularly intelligent or at least emotionally intelligent person if they are able to see that maybe their original opinion or thought was incorrect, and they find a way to correct the course and, find something new to stand for, so to speak. That's not an issue per se, but when it's something that doesn't particularly hold any effect to the well-being of others, or something maybe that just relates a little bit more to the general quality of life of others, then maybe it's not so imperative to, or not imperative, disruptive? Whatever. Not so terrible to just stand firm in your beliefs, right? And also to not be a hypocrite. An example I can think of off the top of my head is for like languages. That was awful. Forget I stuttered like that. For example, languages. A lot of people tend to hold the belief of, if you're coming to this country, you should learn our language, right? But then that belief seems to just get thrown out of the window. That one in particular, when they travel somewhere else themselves. And it's like, you should either be someone who fully follows that conviction that you stand for, or just abandon it altogether. You can't be someone who says, if you're coming to our country, you should learn our language, and then you go to another country and never even bother to learn their language. Not even like a little bit enough to be able to hold a decent conversation. It's half-assed, so to speak. Pardon my French. Je parle un peu. But that's an example right there. And I can say that. I believe in that too, and although I haven't been to any other countries, I would like to. And so, I do share that belief. If you're going to go to a country, you should learn their language. That goes to any country. I'm not even just speaking solely in pertaining to the United States. Like, obviously, if you're going to come to the United States, you should probably learn some English. And sorry for, Americans, you should probably also learn some Spanish too. I know that probably rubs some Americans the wrong way, but if we're being honest, we're at the point now, Spanish is becoming a particularly popular language in the States. It would be kind of oblivious, kind of ignorant to not acknowledge that and to not entertain the idea that we should all know at least a little bit of Spanish in our day-to-day while living in the States. And so, yeah, if you're going to visit another state, another country, whatever, what have you, you should probably at least dabble in the language of the place that you are going to visit in order to get by. Just as a courtesy. It's not necessarily a requirement, but it's a courtesy. If you're going to go to someone else's place, you can't expect them to have to understand you or speak the language that you speak. And if you have that same requirement of others, then you should require it upon yourself. As I do. I'm not trying to be holier than thou or, high and mighty. But that's just something I've always believed. If you're going to stand by a conviction, you should stand by it wholeheartedly, not half-assed. That's why I speak languages. I haven't been anywhere, but I want to. And I love languages. All the languages that I have in my head just flew out the window. But, I speak some Spanish. The language just went out of my head. Hola, ¿cómo estás? I speak a little bit of French. Bonjour. Comment ça va? Je m'appelle Etienne. Et toi? Oui, c'est très bien. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I kind of butchered it. I haven't spoken French in a while. I haven't ever been to France. Don't murder me. Please. I wouldn't like that. But yeah, anyways, stand by your convictions. And if you're going to do so, don't be a hypocrite. Stand by them wholeheartedly. Stand by them fully. And you know what? Even the bad ones, I'm sorry to say it, this may not go for everyone, but at least for me, even if you're like standing by a particularly problematic conviction, I kind of still respect you more if you just really stand by it. It's commendable if you allow yourself to have your problematic opinions and thoughts corrected. That's commendable, it's admirable, it's great. And I hope that we can all aspire to achieve that level of open-mindedness at some point. But of the same course, I can also still kind of respect someone who just does not back down. You stand for what you believe in, and you do so wholeheartedly. Even if it's something that's kind of problematic, I can still kind of respect at least the fact that you are someone who stands by your convictions, someone who cannot be swayed, someone who cannot be bought or corrupted, so to speak. Not to say that I don't wish people with really problematic opinions and ideals could have them swayed or would have them swayed. I do hope for that, because obviously that's what this whole series is about, is betterment, self-improvement, contributing to a better society. But, there's a little bit of merit there too, I believe. Just stick by your guns. Stick by your convictions. Stand for something or fall for anything. And, same thing can be said for religion. That scared me. That was just my fridge. This little guy right here. Stand by that too. If you have something that you believe in, if you have a faith that you keep, stand by it. Don't shy away from it for anybody. These days it's a lot easier to hide that you believe in something, right? Everyone either doesn't believe in something and is loud about it, or they do believe in something and they're quiet about it. I'm not necessarily you need to go and start a crusade and, force your religion upon a bunch of unsuspecting natives. No shade. But if you do have things that you believe in, don't hide it. That's probably, at least in my mind, an even greater crime, so to speak, than if you were to actually just be outwardly blasphemous. Maybe that is blasphemous in and of itself, hiding your faith. It's kind of sad. Like, I'm not one who particularly cares to push my religion onto others, but in any time someone asks, I will gladly let them know of what I believe in, why, how I got there, whatever they want to know. Because what reason do I have to hide my beliefs? What reason do I have to hide my convictions? What reason do I have to not stand by my convictions? If I believe in this, why would I want to hide that at all? Why would I not stand by it fully? Which again just brings us back to stand by your convictions wholeheartedly, fully, unapologetically. And without being a hypocrite. And also, do your research. I feel like that's not something a lot of people mention either. It's just do your research before you find a conviction to stick to. A lot of people nowadays just jump into the deep end of the pool without even understanding what kind of liquid they're jumping into. That's pee you're jumping into, my brother. That's pee. Straight up urine. You didn't even bother to check. That's yellow. But you didn't even bother to check that. That's very clearly not water. But someone told you, hey, that's a pool full of water, and you just jumped straight in. Do your research before you stand by any one particular conviction. It took me a long time to get back to a place of believing in this. It took me a very, very long time to find my way back to Christ. I'm not ashamed to admit it. But it did require a lot of research, both internal and external. And that's how I got here. That's how I got back to it. Because I was there at first. I took some time to myself, so to speak, and then I made my way back. So just do your research. Do your research. Stick to your convictions wholeheartedly. And don't be a hypocrite. That's all it is. Yeah, I think that's it for today. So as always, if you're feeling any particular sort of way, whether it be negative, positive, anxious, angry, sad, depressed, lonely, happy, got some good news you want to share, feel free to reach out to me through any of the various social media links in the description below. I will always get back to you 24/7, 365. Because you're not alone. You're never alone. And I hope you know that. If no one told you today, you are beautiful. You are handsome. I'm proud of you. I love you. Keep going. You got this. Yeah. Also, sorry, it's been a little while since I posted a video. I was on vacation, and I hope I don't get crucified for that. Because that would be a pretty crazy thing to get crucified for, in my opinion. But I don't know. One guy got crucified for eating bread. So anyways, until next time, peace.